Welcome back, everybody, for the last day of this Washington to Florida J3 ferry. Here's today's flying plan, just short of 6 hours. It should be a wonderful day into Crestview, Florida. Let's jump in the airplane and come along. Thanks. Well, here's another eggplant graveyard. This company here's got a history of rebuilding them, so these are old wrecks they've bought salvage parts out of. There's the main structure of the fuselage and the tank. That's why they're so strong and safe. Got some more here. That one's a little overgrown. Got a jig, probably a wing jig. Well, that could be a fuselage jig, hard to tell. So this was an old military basic training, flight training base in the war. That's what built these hangars. There she is, ready to go. They were complaining their other hangar, the 802 prop, is too high to fit inside. It's only a 12-foot hangar. This one's a 14. Obviously, that one makes it, but not by a lot. And then it looks like two different 402s here. They could be 502. Well, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, this is the last day. West Helena, Arkansas, right on the border with Mississippi. And Memphis, Tennessee is just 15, 20 miles that way. Got about 6.5 hours of flying today to get this gal to Crestview. Goal is to be there mid-afternoon, kind of like a repeat of what we had today, or yesterday, I should say. Beautiful day. We should have less wind, so that will definitely help out. It's been a great trip. I'm ready for it to be done, but it's been a good trip. Let's get this baby fired up. Well, here on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi is a huge granary. Of course, the Mississippi, well known for moving product up and down. Wasn't long until we came across our first of the cypress stumps. You know you're in the southeast when you see those. Tigers have got a cool football field as well. All right, first hour and a half done. We are now in Winona, Montgomery County, Mississippi. Beautiful little strip down the valley. These morning flights sure are nice. Pretty calm winds. I got maybe 5 mile an hour headwind. It's been smooth. And of course, it's just cool. Nice to see. And here is something I have never seen before. This is quite the paint job on this Mooney. Let me turn this around. It's a little polish. Looks like that was just hand painted, rolled on or something. Very rough, crude paint job. Interior is out, so they're still working on the airplane. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say this is a work in progress. But I like it. Yeah, peeling up. Yeah, this was, looks like latex paint put on with a roller. Ooh. Looks like they ground. They didn't strip that paint off on the aluminum. Looks like they used mechanical means. Ugh. Takes the LCAT. Unfortunately, it's obviously not flown for quite some time. Birds have made it home. Cowl's all undone. Don't know if you can see that. They have just taken a grinding tool and just grind it off, probably surface corrosion. That's too bad. Then you have this beautiful looking Cirrus. This thing is sweet. Jumping that, it'd take me an hour to finish this trip. All right, maybe 2 hours. And you would arrive in style, but you wouldn't be arriving in a classic. That's a gorgeous airplane, though. That's something I've never seen at an FBO before, or a pilot lounge, not an FBO, but a baby changing table. Suppose it could be handy for some people. They got a remote for the old people. There's the young people remotes. Fridge, coffee, microwave, bathroom, and a sleeping couch. About all you need. Something tells me that tree got hit by lightning. Here's another one of those non-descriptive water towers, Central Water District. Jesus. Wow, this is what you see when you walk in at, where the heck are we? Clark County Airport, Quitman, Mississippi. 320 feet. You see this cool, all the pictures of people that have flown in. Old Army heritage. That's pretty cool. They got more over on this side. All right, here we are. Here's where we are going. Right there. We're just south of Meridian, Mississippi. Gonna cut down by Monroe County, Alabama. We're only 45 miles from Alabama. Zip across to Alabama and then into Florida. I am down to less than 140 miles. That's 2 hours, even in a Cub. I got one stop left at Monroe County, which Alabama's an old, we used to go in there all the time when I was at my Navy squadron on the exchange. So I'm looking forward to going back in there. Hopefully they still got some of their good food. Oh, this was good. This was good. It is nice and warm finally. This is the first time that it's gone, yep, it is warm out. Jackets are definitely away. The side window's open. The birds and the trees here were chirping pretty loud a few minutes ago. So doing good there. And I'm looking ready to enjoy a quick little Coke here. Every stop I grab a bunch of paper towels to be able to clean the oil off the windows. And it is almost done. All right, keep your fingers crossed. 2 more legs. We are on our last sectional. It wasn't long until I came across the Tom Bigby River and came across these pleasure craft cruising south. Real popular for what they do. But then I came crossed another 4 boats that were meeting a barge in a sharp corner. Don't ask me what these pleasure craft captains were doing. I can't imagine, radio communications, they didn't know the barge was coming. or they couldn't get pulled way over to the right or get turned around, because they're going to meet this barge at the worst spot. He is going to be using full scale rudder deflection, both left and right, pumping out massive amounts of horsepower, and at times his stern, as you'll see in some video, is going to be less than 15 feet from the shore. Yeah, these pleasure craft get over to the right up against the buoy, but I can't imagine with depth finders they couldn't have gotten a little more out of the way of this boat. Some real skill on the captain of this tug. Came low down the sandbar, watched it. It looks like there's a lot more room than there is, but check out this overhead view of what this tug is doing. Full left deflection here. Not a lot of room between the front left corner of that barge. And then he's got to get straightened out here. He is pumping water up on the shore. The right rear corner of that barge just skimming along the banks. I don't know how deep it was right there, but that was some impressive seamanship on the part of that tugboat captain. Woo! That was cool to see. Well, here's a place I have not been to in about 25 years. Last time I was here was probably about late 99. It is Monroe County. We used to come in here all the time with the T-34s, get fuel, get a good meal. I don't even know if they let the T-6s come in here anymore. There's none sitting here, which doesn't surprise me. It was a good place to go. Of course, they had good southern food as well. Yep, they still come in here. Lots of old memorabilia, always a home-cooked meal here. little sweet tea. Well, one glass of sweet tea later, it is ready to fly home. I can't tell you how many times I've drank too much sweet tea and aimed for the Gulf Coast of Florida. Last 20 minutes, you're like, oh, I had one too many glasses. Don't think that'll be the case today. I just had one, had a good talk. The gentleman flying this King Air used to fly in here when he was a Navy student flying T-28s 40 years ago. 20 years ago, I was here with T-34s and T-6s. There were just a couple T-6s on the ramp, a couple helicopters earlier today as well, so it's good to hear that they're still coming in, keeping the business running. Vanity Fair used to have a big production facility here in town. Used to see their global sitting here, and they just shut that down this summer. Lost 150 jobs, but the guy says that Bad Boy Mowers came in and bought up half the facility, the shipping, and moving some of their production here, which is going to be 160 jobs. A couple $1 billion expansion to the paper mill up north, going to be the largest paper mill in the southeast U.S. So still some life here in Monroe, Alabama. All right, 45 minutes to go. Let's get this baby home. Well, this section of Alabama and Florida, again, it's all flat, not a lot out here. Here's Bruton Municipal Airport, Navy T-6 climbing out. They'll do patterns in and out of there. I've been there many, many times. Some of these sandbars could be fun in my 170. Here off in the distance, I can just see the water down by Pensacola Bay. I know I'm getting close. For the last 10 to 15 miles, I've been trying to find just what green field out there to the east was going to be the airfield, and there she was finally. I circled over the top to get a reading on what the winds were doing because didn't have good radio communication with anybody, and then set up on a left downwind to come on in for the full stop one last time. Here's some drone footage of that final pattern. It's shot by Tom's son in his drone. Cool to see this. And she's done. Well, we had a good welcoming committee. Airplane's all unloaded. I'll get total stats done. Got the new bed for it with a twin right there. Whew. All right, approximately about 32 hours, probably about 30 landings, and mission is complete. She's got roommate back there to keep her company. Well, after 6 days, that was a great ferry trip. I spent the night with some good Air Force friends, and at 5 in the morning, here we were at Destin International Airport getting ready to hop a flight to Atlanta and back home to Seattle. Really hope everybody enjoyed this wonderful trip in this J3 from Washington to Florida. 6-part series. That's a long one. Thanks for coming along on all of it. Jughead's out.